Write each of the following as a single fraction in its simplest form. So we have 8x squared over 3y divided by 2x over 9y squared. So if we want to write this out in another way, we can say, well, 8x squared over 3y, that line becomes the divide symbol, and then 2x over 9y squared. So if we want to divide fractions, what we do is we turn the second fraction upside down and we multiply. So basically we change this into its inverse. So we bring down the 8x squared over 3y, the divide becomes multiply, and 2x over 9y squared flips upside down to become 9y squared over 2x. Now we just multiply like normal, which is top by top, bottom by bottom. So 8x squared times 9y squared is 72x squared y squared, and 3y times 2x is 6xy. So 72x squared y squared can be written as 72xxyy, and 6xy just stays as 6xy. We have a look at the numbers and we see what will divide into both of those. Well, 6 into 72 goes 12 times, and 6 into 6 goes once. The highlighted x's will cancel, and the highlighted y's will cancel, leaving us with 12xy as our numerator and 1 as our denominator, which just gives us 12xy. 27ab over 4c squared divided by 15b squared over 8c. So we're going to write this out using a divide symbol. So we've got 27ab over 4c squared divided by 15b squared over 8c. When we are dividing fractions, what we do is we turn the second fraction upside down and we multiply. So we bring down the 7ab over 4c squared, the divide changes to multiply, and 15b squared over 8c gets flipped upside down, it becomes its inverse, and we get 8c over 15b squared. Then we do top by top, bottom by bottom. 27ab multiplied by 8c gives us 216abc, and 4c squared multiplied by 15b squared gives us 60b squared c squared. So 216abc can stay as 216abc. 60b squared c squared can be written out as 60bbcc. So then we have a look at the numbers and we see that 216 can be divided by 12, giving us 18, and 60 can be divided by 12, giving us 5. Then we see that the highlighted b's will cancel out and the highlighted c's will cancel out, leaving us with a in the numerator and b and c in the denominator. So 18a over 5bc is our final answer. So next we have x minus 1 minus 6 over x divided by x minus 4 over x. So what we want to do is multiply the top and the bottom by x to break up the smaller fractions, because we've got fractions within fractions, so we want to try and get rid of them. So if we multiply the numerator, the entire numerator, by x, we're going to get rid of the 6 over x. We're going to get rid of it being a fraction. But what we do to the top, we must do to the bottom. So we're also multiplying the denominator by x. So x multiplied by x gives us x squared. Minus 1 multiplied by x gives us minus x. And minus 6 over x multiplied by x gives us minus 6. Now minus 6 over x multiplied by x is the same thing as minus 6 over x multiplied by x over 1, because any term can be put over 1. Then we do top by top, bottom by bottom, giving us minus 6x over x, and then the x's will cancel, just leaving us with minus 6. So that's where that minus 6 comes from. Okay, now let's do our denominators. X multiplied by x gives us x squared, and minus 4 over x multiplied by x gives us minus 4. So minus 4 over x multiplied by x is the same thing as minus 4 over x multiplied by x over 1, just like above here. We're going to do top by top, bottom by bottom. Gives us minus 4x over x. The x's can cancel, leaving us with minus 4. So that's where that minus 4 comes from there. So now we have x squared minus x minus 6 as our numerator and x squared minus 4 for our denominator. Now we're going to factorize. So x squared minus x minus 6 will factorize to x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. And x squared minus 4 will factorize to x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. So I use the difference of two squares here. I notice that I have x plus 2 common to my numerator and my denominator, so I can cancel those out, leaving me with x minus 3 as my numerator, x minus 2 as my denominator. This is my final answer. So now I have x minus 1 over x divided by 1 plus 1 over x. So again, I want to get rid of the fractions inside the fraction. So the reciprocal of 1 over x is going to be x, so I'm going to multiply the entire top line by x. And what I do to the top, I do to the bottom, so I'm going to multiply the entire bottom line by x as well. But I have to do that anyway to also get rid of the 1 over x. So x multiplied by x is x squared, and minus 1 over x multiplied by x is going to be minus 1. So let's have a look at this minus 1 over x multiplied by x. So I've got minus 1 over x multiplied by x over 1. So x I can change to x over 1 because any term can be put over 1. And then I'm going to do top by top, bottom by bottom. Minus 1 by x is minus x, and 1 by x is x. The x's will cancel, leaving me with minus 1. So that's where the minus 1 comes from. So now I need to multiply the denominator by x. So 1 multiplied by x is just going to be x, and 1 over x multiplied by x is going to be plus 1. So let's have a look at this 1 over x multiplied by x again. Well, it can be rewritten as 1 over x multiplied by x over 1, because that x can go over 1, any term can be put over 1. Then we do top by top, bottom by bottom. 1 by x is x, x by 1 is x, and the x's will cancel, leaving us with plus 1. So that's where that plus 1 comes from. So now we have x squared minus 1 as our numerator and x plus 1 as our denominator. We can factorize this top line using the difference of two squares. So we get x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 1. And we still have x plus 1 as our denominator. Then we notice that we have a common factor of x plus 1 on the top and the bottom, so they can cancel out. So we're just left with x minus 1 over 1, which is just going to be x minus 1.